guys? It's episode 43 of War Stories, and without further ado, I'm gonna get straight to it. So check it out, you guys. I'm gonna take you guys back to 2009 during the time when an incident took place in the Santa Clara County Jail. Now, I'm not gonna talk about everything that happened from the time I got arrested in 2004 up until 2009. I've talked extensively about all that. You guys have heard it. Some of you read my book. I've talked about it in lives, Q&As, talked about it in some of my profiles. So I'm not going to get into that. Those of you that are following Inner Demons, you're going to hear me talk about all of that as that series progresses and I bring it up to the current. But this right here is just, I'm going to keep it to what happened and what's relevant to this story. So let me just kind of lay the groundwork for you guys. In 2009, I was in a quandary. I was going at it with the county jail and I was going at it with the homies, with the fellas. Now, the fellas thought I was cooperating because of some phone calls I made with my girl, which I wasn't. It's a proven fact. People would find this out later, but it's not relevant. However, the administration, the county jail, they had put me in an observation cell behind liability issues. They didn't know what my status really was, and they weren't willing to take any chances, especially because of who I was and, you know, my status as an active NF member. So that's where I was at that time. I'm going at it with the fellas, with just the fellas that are making the decisions at that time. Because be honest with you guys, the majority of the jail were pushing for me. A lot of the homies were campaigning to get me back on an active tier. So it wasn't like I was shut down, excommunicated, motherfuckers had me on shine. It wasn't nothing like that. Matter of fact, when they put me in the observation cell in Second East, the homies that were in Second East Max, whenever they would go to an attorney visit, visiting, dental, to go see, you know, the doctor or whatever, whenever they had to go out of East, that little area in East right there, they would have to pass by my cell. So whenever they would pass by my cell, a lot of the homies would stop at my door. The COs would let them chop it up with me. They come over there and we chop it up. And a lot of them be like, hey, B, man, I hope everything works out. I hope that, you know, that you get through this, man, and you come back, bro, because motherfuckers didn't want to see me fall like that, man. A lot of homies didn't. So, you know, it wasn't like I was shut down like that and, you know, it was just on shine status. But anyway, so I stayed in that observation cell probably for about 3 months. And one day I'm in there. Now, let me back up and just say this real quick. When I say I was going at it with the administration and I was fighting with the administration, what I mean by that is because they weren't sure about my status as far as being okay with the fellas or if I was on bad terms, they put me in that observation cell and they were trying to force the brown top on me. Now, I refused to wear the brown top. I would never put it on. I told you guys are not going to force that on me. And, you know, I'm ready to go the distance. However you guys want to handle it, you know, we can do it. I'm not trying to fucking act up. I've never given you guys problems. I don't get out like that. But I've got my best interest to protect. You guys got a job to do. I understand that. But you got to understand the ramifications of putting that top on, you know, go beyond that jail. Your family can be threatened, other people out there on the streets, your kids. So I wasn't going to go out like that. Besides that, there was nothing that I had done wrong. Everybody knew it. And at least a lot of homies knew it. There was just certain individuals that were pushing an agenda for personal reasons. But anyway, again, that's not relevant to this story. So let me just get into the details of what happened. So at some point, classification comes on the tier. They come to my door and they're like, hey, we need to move you to another cell because we need this observation cell. I don't know if it was a JCAT, if it was somebody that had suicidal tendencies or what, but it was somebody that needed priority. And they were basically telling me, we're gonna have to move you. So when I asked them, like, well, where are you guys moving me to? They told me they were gonna move me up to Little Max, which is there's 4 cells on that tier, 4 cells and a shower. Small. They call it Little Max, Mini Max. So anyway, I wasn't thrilled about the idea because I didn't want to be around nobody else, especially anybody else that was okay with being in brown. So my whole thing was like, fuck it. I get up there and they put me around somebody, I'm taking flight. I'm gonna spare them, whatever I gotta do. But I'm not okay with being on a tier like that because again, it's the ramifications that I was concerned with. Anyway, so they moved me up to Little Max. When I first get there, there's an older guy from Fresno. He's like a family man. He don't push politics. He's not a bulldog, nothing like that. Just an old cat that got caught up for something, and he's there in the jail. Got spooked because he's from Fresno and says, I just want to go lock it up and be left alone. Then you had this white guy that you guys have heard about him, but I'm not going to touch on that either. Joseph Booth, youngster, I think he was like 26. He had an identity crisis, didn't know if he was a Nazi lowrider or a skinhead, but oh boy, was confused. So those are the two individuals that were there. Then they had an empty cell. So neither one of those two seemed like they were a threat. I just left them alone. I did my thing. So anyway, I stayed in Little Max probably for about 6 months. 6 months, I stayed there, just continued to keep doing everything that I was doing. I still try to maintain some type of contact with the homies. Now, where I was at, that's considered Third West. So you had two other tiers right outside Little Max, which is South Max and North Max. Both of those tiers were active tiers. There were active homies on both of those tiers, double red. So at some point, I want to say it was like after 6 months I had been there, I had heard that Dancing Bear ended up hitting the jail and that they had housed him on North Max, right outside Little Max. So I knew he was right there on the tier somewhere, but where I was at, I couldn't holler at him. So I just made a mental note of it. He was there. I had never been around Dancing Bear, didn't know him, never done time with him, didn't know what he looked like. So about a week later, I'm in my cell working out or doing something, and the door opens up during around the time when they start running showers, and this little fat pudgy motherfucker comes walking in. The CO that was escorting him was a cool ass CO. Basically, it was Dancing Bear, but basically Dancing Bear had got at him and he was like, "Hey, hey, such and such, can you shower me over there in Little Max because I want to holler at Boxer. I want to holler at him. It's important." And that particular CO knew my situation. He knew that I wasn't okay with being, the whole fucking jail knew about it. Everybody knew I wasn't okay with where they had me at and that I was fighting to get back on an active tier. I would not wear that top, and I was pushing hard to get back, whether it was on the fourth floor, wherever it was, I didn't care. I just wanted to go back to an active tier. So the CO, because he knew what was going on, because he's just a cool cat who I had a good rapport with, he showered him over there. So as soon as he comes in the section, I knew who he was. There was just, well, I'll tell you why. One, even though he was a fat, pudgy motherfucker, little round motherfucker, man, looked like a biker that hadn't showered in months, hair all blown out, mustache crooked, fat, bowling ball stomach. There was something about him that I just knew it was him as soon as he walked in. Not only that, he had his towel around his neck, and that's like, those are all the characteristics of the old school C's that cats that done time in Tehachapi and Folsom and San Quentin back in the day. That was one of the things they used to do. Put a towel around their neck when they used to go shower, because that's a vital area. If somebody's gonna stab you or something and hit you in the neck, the heart, all that good stuff. So I knew that was him. So anyway, after the CO uncuffs him, the CO bounces. He leaves out the section. As soon as he shuts the door, I hear Dancing Bear say, "Hey, B, is that you?" And I'm like, "Yeah, what's up, DB?" And he's like, "Damn, bro." He's like, "What happened, homie?" He was like, "Man," he's like, "I just left the Bay right now. Chuco is my neighbor up there. Bro, we didn't have no fucking idea that you were back here or that you were going through these issues that you're going through." He's like, "Fuck, man." He's like, "What happened, bro?" And I'm like, "Bro, I don't want to get into it, Homie, I don't want to get into it, man. There's other people on the tier. But listen, man, I'm going to send you something. Go through it. Check it out. It's a fucked up situation, homie. Just check it out and then get back at me. He was like, yeah, man. He was like, the homies kind of gave me the gist of it. He was like, bro, send me everything. Send me everything that you got, everything that I need. You know what I'm talking about. Just send me everything so I can get a full picture. And he was like, B, I'll give you my word. I'll do whatever I can to help you. He's like, but just don't make me regret it. And I'm like, nah, bro, look, that's all I've ever asked for was the benefit of the doubt. And I was never given that, bro. People are going off of speculation. They're going off of a phone call, a couple phone calls. That's it. He goes, look, man, if there's something that I can do for you, let me read the paperwork. Let me check it out. If there's something I can do for you, he goes, I'll do it. I'll do whatever I can for you. He goes, but I'm gonna be honest with you, homie. He's like, if there's nothing I can do, it's beyond my control. I'm gonna be honest and let you know. I'm like, it's all good, homie. That's all I've asked for. But there's nothing that warrants this situation right here. Trust me, you're gonna see what I'm talking about. So I shoot all the paperwork to him. I sent him a whole fucking box, transcripts, fucking 1,000 police reports, everything he needs. Put a little one time in there and I break it all down for him, categorize everything. Look, bro, just check this out, go over here, check this out. Everything was all kind of separated for him so that, he wouldn't have no issues going through it. So he sits on the paperwork for about a week. Week later, CO comes over, brings the box in the section, opens the door, slides it in my cell. So I'm going through it and I find a one time in there. And he basically tells me, he's like, look, brother, I went through everything. I read this paperwork from fucking front to back. He's like, my eyes are still crossed. I've been reading paperwork reports for the last week. I went through everything. He's like, and I agree with you. There's nothing there. Now, you said some things that you had no business saying on the phone to your girl, but that's between you and your girl. As far as I can see, you've done nothing else that warrants the homies, taking a position against you or for you to be in the situation that you're in now. And he's like, so this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to give your co-defendants a week to produce anything that will show otherwise. Otherwise, I'm going to tell them, shut the fuck up. And we're going to need to try to get you back on an active tier. I'm like, bro, that's all I want. That's all I want. Put me on freeze, bring me back, that's all I want. Look into the facts, look into the details. I'm not asking for no special treatment. All I'm asking for is what I'm supposed to be afforded by due fucking process. That's it. So a week goes by. He gives my co-defendants all the time that they need to produce some paperwork, but they can't. Why? Because there is none. There was nothing was there. They're, like I said, they're going off of phone calls. But again, that's relevant to what I'm talking about. So Dancing Bear, after he gives them a week to produce paperwork and they can't, he gets back at me and he's like, look, bro, classification walks the tier every couple days. When they come through, when they strike through, start pushing from your end. Tell them you want to get back on an active tier. He said, we'll push from over here. So, every chance you get, let them know, man. So every time they come up, they came on the tier, gang intel, Cobb, Dela Cruz, Curio. As soon as they would come up there on the tier, I'd be like, hey, man, you guys need to put me back on an active tier. Get me the fuck off this tier. I don't want to be back here. I want to be back on an active tier. You guys are putting me in a worse position by doing what you're doing. And, their whole thing was, look, it's out of our hands. The higher ups in the administration are the ones making that call. And it's all about liability. Somebody with your status, they don't want to fuck around, so it's not up to us. If it was up to me, I'd let you go back right now. Fuck it. That's what you want to do, but it's not up to us. So I'm like, well, the powers that be, whoever it is, somebody needs to fucking come up here and talk to me then, because I don't want to be back here. and you guys are making it worse. You know, this type of shit right here has an effect on people's families out there on the streets. You guys are putting me in a worse position than I'm already in. And you're putting me in a position that's making it harder for me, you know, to basically to do any kind of damage control, to get back with in good standings with my people. So, you know, they tell me, oh, we'll talk to him, we'll see what the sergeant says, and we'll try to holler at the lieutenant. Bunch of bullshit. So at one point, Dancing Bear gets back at me. He's like, bro, look, every chance we get, we're pushing over here. I even got the homies, you know, in Second East and some of the homies on the fourth floor pushing to get you back on an active tier. Every chance anybody sees gang intel, they're, hey, you know, B's good, man, let him come back. But it seems like they're dragging their feet. So at that point, I tell Dancing Bear, look, bro, the only way I'm gonna get off this fucking tier is to start sparing people, start taking off on motherfuckers, man, become a management problem. So I suggest that that's what I do from this day forward. Let me kick it off, bro, and let me try to work my way back over there. That's the only other thing. I don't know what else to do. So he was like, fuck it then, do it. You know, that's the only other option. He's like, man, good luck, bro. You know, see what happens. So at that time, there was, I forget who was in the set. Okay, no, there was a paisa that was in there. He was a youngster, nobody cat kind of cat, and then there was another individual in there who was just another regular J-Cat type of motherfucker, man, that was nobody. They weren't no DOs or nothing like that. They weren't nobody with any foul. They were just some regular cats that were scared to be in the jail. So from the time I have that, you know, when me and Dancing Bear dialogue back and forth with each other, and you know, I suggest that I start sparing people and start going at motherfuckers. That's when. So I had two spearheads that I had put in my legal work. I put them away. I found them, two little pieces of steel. So I take them out of my legal work, and I make the stock of a spear. All the male and female parts. I got a big ass spear in my cell, and I got everything that I need to do in order to get it. I just need a fucking victim now. So where I'm at in Little Max, it's bars, but they got mesh over the bars. But I kept the phone in front of my cell all the time. And the reason I did it is so I could keep my tray slot open. So with me having my tray slot open, I had a clear shot at anybody that walked by my cell. So my thing was, the two cats that were on my tier were nobodies. They weren't no threats, and they weren't anybody that I didn't even want to really spare either one of them. Matter of fact, I told both of them, look, you guys kind of know a little bit about my situation. I don't want to be back here. I'm telling you guys right now, I'm putting you on notice. Do not walk by my cell. I'm trying to get off this tier, but the next motherfucker that walks by my cell is going to get speared. And both of them got back at me. I appreciate you getting, you know, letting us know. And I don't want to be the victim of your aggression. And, you know, I'll bird bath. I'm good. So I'm waiting for a victim now. Sometimes when they're running showers and when it's not our shower day, what they'll do is they'll get guys from South Max and they'll run them in to Little Max to, you know, to speed up their shower program. So I'm hoping that they're going to do that. So I'm waiting for them, and they bring in somebody from South Max. I had the spear ready to go, and I got at the CO that night, the cool CO, the one that brought in Dancing Bear to shower that one night. And I told him, I'm like, look, man, I got an immense amount of respect for you. I'm giving you a heads up just out of respect to let you know I'm going to do something tonight. I'm going to take care of some business. So I'm letting you know, I'm giving you a heads up. And he's like, cool, don't trip. It's all good. Whatever you got to do, handle your business. I don't think he really knew what I was going to do, but I told him. So right around the time when they started shower program, I put the spear together, tied it all up. I had it ready to go. My tray slot was open. So when I hear him across the hall and I hear him, they're bringing somebody over, I get the spear and I put it on my tray slot, and I take my hand and I got my hand at the end of the spear like this. So I'm cupping it so that I can jab a motherfucker real good. That's how you spear somebody. Anyway, I'm standing there looking through the tray slot, and they bring this one cat in. It's a white cat, always talking shit over there too. I didn't know him personally, but just had a big mouth. Anyway, so he's walking by, and I get him out of nowhere. Anyway, he jumps back and he screams, and the CO grabs him right away. He turns him around, he walks him out, takes him out, and the CO was pissed. Even though I told him, I don't think he really knew what I was talking about. He never came back there the rest of the night. He didn't say nothing to me. He basically left that day, after his shift was over. He just left and acted like nothing happened. So nothing happened. I didn't get written up, nothing. But those motherfuckers over there in South Max, they started talking shit. I heard the one cat that I got, he was telling other inmates, and they were putting it all out on the tier. Hey, that piece of shit over there, he fucking speared me, dog, when I was walking by the cell. I don't even know that motherfucker. I don't got a problem with him. I don't know what his trip is, but, that's what he's doing over there. And so those kind of cats, right? So anyway, I'm like, it's cool that the CO is not tripping, but fuck, it kind of defeated the whole purpose. So the night that I did that, I as soon as I did it, I took the spear apart, took the fucking the spearhead, and I flushed it. I thought they were gonna come up there, search, tear the whole tier up, and I thought it was gonna be all bad. But like I said, it didn't go nowhere. So anyway, the next day I roll up another one. I'm like, fuck, I gotta do it again. I gotta get the next motherfucker that comes by. So anyway, I make another spear, all the male, female parts again. I put the point on it, have everything ready. It's all tied up. That day, I want to say early in the morning, they bring in another cat. Because there was only 3 of us on the tier at that time. One cell was open. They bring him in and they put him in the cell. Now, I'm just going to put him out there because, people know about it. People have heard about it in the jail. They heard about when it happened. It's not a big secret, but if you're from San Jose, Ralph Avalos, boxer. I think he's from the West Side, but you guys know who Ralph Avalos is, boxer. That's who they brought on the tier. So they bring him in, and when he comes in, I don't reach out to him. I don't say nothing to him. I don't greet him. I just, I stay quiet, do my little routine, do my program, and that's it. He talks to the other 2 cats in there, but because I'm not saying nothing to him, it made him leery. So the first night they ran showers for us, I'm thinking, I'm gonna get this motherfucker tonight. And I let the CO know out of respect. Hey, I'm gonna take care of something tonight. And he was like, handle your business, man. Do what you gotta do. This was a different CO though. Anyway, so I get the spear ready. I got it all ready to go. And they run showers, and this dude does not go to the shower. He refuses. So I'm like, fuck, man. Now I'm tripping. I'm pissed, man. I got to break the spear down again. The next day, I get ready, see if they're going to run South Max in. They don't run them in. So when it comes our time to go to the shower again, I make it again for the 4th time. I roll it up, put the point on it, tie it up real good. Then I get at my neighbor and I'm like, look, get at your neighbor and tell him he's got to go to the shower. Help me get him into the shower, however you can do it. Tell him that, the CO gives us all extras in the morning. Everybody got to take a turn to wash the shower, and it's his turn. You got to tell him, man. So, when you let him know, if I have to chime in, I'll say something. So he gets at him like I told him. Hey, you gotta, go in and it's your turn to clean the shower with all due respect. Wow. So dude bites. Hook, line, and sinker. He's like, all right, fuck it. I'll clean it. If that's the routine, right? So, I even yell down there to him. I'm like, yeah, bro, hey, we all gotta take turns. That's how we get our extras, and it's all good, man. He's like, all right, bro, good looking out. So, no, good looking out. About to Shaka Zulu your ass. So anyway, that night, they come up for showers. Like I said, I'm ready to go again. I hear him go to his cell, and they're cuffing him up. I get the spear, and this was the good one. I had the good point. I get the spear, I have it on my tray slot, and again, I'm cupping it, ready, waiting for him to come out. As soon as he comes out, I can see him, and then I get him. I got him good too. I hit him so hard, the fucking tip of the tip on the spear bent, and it was a nice little piece of steel. I hit him in the stomach. Anyway, when I hit him, he fucking jumps back. The CO jumps back, grabs him, spins him around. He's like, fuck, man. I hear the CO go, fuck. Takes him in his cell, takes the cuffs off him, walks out and slams the door shut. He was pissed. He slammed the door. So when he did that, I'm in the cell breaking down the spear again because, again, I'm waiting. Here they come. I know they're coming this time. So, you know, I yelled down there. I'm like, hey, Ralphie, I said, check it out, bro. It's like, you know, let you know like this, homie. I ain't got no issues with you. It's not personal. Unfortunately, you know, you were the first one to walk by my cell. You know, I'm trying to get back to an active tier. You know, it is what it is, bro. And, you know, he was like, hey, bro, I'm not tripping. He was like, you know, fuck it. You know, I'm not tripping. It's all good, man. So anyway, 10 minutes later, the CO that was escorting him, well, no, his partner comes in and he's like, check it out, man. He turned the TV down and he goes, look, we're not trying to get involved in none of you guys' shit. We're not trying to slap no cases on nobody. We're not trying to get pulled in no fucking courtrooms. Like, look, man, if I go down to the ODR and give you guys all fucking trays, officer dining room food, fatten you guys up with some fat ass trays, can we just let this go and keep it on the tier? Everybody on the tier was like, hell yeah. Like, let's do it, man. So they didn't want to get involved. Again, it kind of defeated my purpose, man. These COs liked me. And, you know, then again, I think it was because they didn't really want to put a case on me. But again, it still fucking defeated the purpose. I got this fool. I got the other cat. They refused to write me up. I'm like, go tell on me, motherfucker. Go. It's okay. Go tell that I did this so that I can get back to an active tier. But nothing happened. So we eat good that night. We eat good. And that's what ended up happening up until that point. So a couple days goes by. Couple days go by, and then they stop running showers. They stop everything on the tier. It's like all movement on the tier stop. So it was about 6 o'clock in the evening. I'm in the cell watching TV. The door opens up. Gang intel comes walking in. They come up to my door and they're like, hey, they're like, check it out, boxer. It's like this, man. We got to move you. We got to move you because of what you're doing on the tier. You know, you're spearing people up here on the tier, and, you know, you got people scared to walk by your cell, and we can't have that, man. So we got to move you. We got to put you back in the observation cell. It's like, man, I'm glad you're going to put me back there. But I was like, that's cool. You know, that's cool. I can understand that. But I'm going to tell you like this, Cobb. And Cobb was cool, man, but I had to take this position again, the same position I had been taking the entire time. I told him, I was like, look, man, you know, I respect that. I'll go to the observation cell, but I'm not wearing that top, man. And, you know, whatever I got to do, I'm ready to go the distance. If you guys want to press the issue, it is what it is, but I'm not wearing the top, Cobb. So I didn't know it, but the whole hallway was lined with COs in full tactical gear, helmets, shields. They were ready, man. They were ready to come in there and fucking do an extraction, which I would have had to, if that's what they were going to do, whatever. I just needed to get off that tier. So when I tell him that, he turns down, and that's how I knew everybody was down there. He was like, hey, Sarge, he's like, you know, he don't want to wear the top. Is there a way we can move him to the observation cell, you know, without the top? And he's the sergeant. I heard the sergeant say, hey, I don't care if he wears it or not. I'm just here to do the move. As long as, you know, we have As long as he moves with no problem, I'm not tripping. So I'm like, yeah, I'll go over there. I'm not worried about going to the observation cell. I can't wear the top, man. So they cuff me up, take me back over there, take me back over to the observation cell. And I want to say it had been about two or 3 weeks that I was in the observation cell when all of a sudden, one day, Cobb came back up to my cell and he was like, hey, he was like, I don't know how the fuck you were able to do it. He's like, but good luck, man. You're going back to an active tier. He's like, you know, I wish you the best of luck, man. That's what you want to do. He's like, I'll be honest with you. Nobody has ever been able to do what you did in this county jail, especially nobody with your kind of status. With the liability issues that are involved, he's like, if it was up to me, there's no way in hell I would allow you to go back to an active tier. But it's not my call, and I'm not making that decision. Somebody else is. You know, they were basically at the point where, you know, what are we going to do with this guy? This guy wants to be active, and this is what he's doing. These are the extremes he's going to now. So, fuck it. That's what happened. From that point on, I went back on an active tier. They walked me right back in to South Max and put me right next door to that fat little round roly-poly motherfucker, Dancing Bear. I moved in a cell right next to him. Anyway, there's other issues that I got into in that county jail during the entire 10 years I was there. Well, actually closer to 9, but we just rounded off. And I'm going to talk about some of those issues. You know, there's a lot of other in-betweens that happen with that story right there. But, you know, I gave you guys the quick version, but that's how I got back on an active tier after the phone slayer incident. Then other incidents would happen, but I'll talk about those in some upcoming episodes of War Stories. Anyway, this episode 42, this your boy B. I'm going to try to give you guys another one early tomorrow and then hit you guys with the inner demons. Anyways, it's your boy B, and I'm out.